Imagine an ancient fortress, wreathed in mist, guarding secrets so old that even time itself has not dared to reveal them. Have you ever wondered whether, buried beneath layers of earth and legend, there might lie a medieval treasure whose whereabouts no one has ever managed to decipher? Today we shall cross centuries of stories, betrayals, and enigmas to uncover the mystery of a lost treasure, more precious than gold, for it holds the keys to understanding the desires, fears, and ambitions of an entire age. Prepare to unravel cryptic maps, follow hidden trails, and perhaps discover clues that have lain dormant for hundreds of years. This is a journey through the shadows of the Middle Ages, and the quest begins now. The mystery that calls to us across the centuries was born in a time when legend and reality danced together by the flickering torchlight of castles. In the mid-12th century, in the region we now know as southern France, there flourished a cultivated and prosperous civilization, that of the Cathars. They were called the Pure, guardians of a distinctive faith considered heretical by the Catholic Church, and it was among them that whispers began of a treasure of incalculable value, not merely material riches, but something capable of shaking the very foundations of religious power. It is said that the Cathar treasure was no mere chest filled with coins. Among its riches were reputedly ancient manuscripts, sacred relics, and perhaps even the legendary Holy Grail. When the armies of the Albigensian Crusade, driven by Roman fanaticism, besieged the fortress of Montségur in 1244, a final hope shone among the besieged. A handful of Cathar knights escaped through the mountain's secret passages, carrying with them whatever they could salvage of the treasure. The Siege of Montségur is one of the most dramatic episodes of the Middle Ages. Picture the scene: the fortress's defenders, surrounded by thousands of soldiers, clinging to their faith as supplies dwindled and death drew near. The rarefied mountain air, mingled with the smell of burning timber and blood, witnessed the birth of one of the greatest lost treasure legends in Western history. When the fortress finally fell, more than 200 Cathars were burnt alive in a gigantic communal pyre, choosing death over the renunciation of their beliefs. But the question that has echoed through the centuries remains: where did the survivors who escaped go, and what exactly did they take with them? The historical records are scant, deliberately erased by the victors, yet a series of fragmented clues suggests that the treasure was hidden somewhere remote in the Pyrenees, protected by ciphered symbols and esoteric rites. Those who tried to find these riches faced dangers not only physical, but also spiritual. For the secret seemed guarded by forces that transcended the material world. Moving forward in time, we see that the quest for the treasure of Montségur attracted alchemists, adventurers, and even secret societies. During the 19th century, members of organizations such as the Theosophical Society and the Rosicrucians began studying the region's old maps and legends, convinced that the Cathar treasure held not only material objects, but hidden knowledge capable of transforming the human soul. In many accounts, shadowy figures appear: wandering monks, masked knights, and nameless sages who emerged either to guide or to mislead those bold enough to seek what should not be found. These tales further intensified the aura of mysticism enveloping Montségur and its surroundings. The mountain's narrow paths, deep gorges, and concealed caves became the stage for solitary and often tragic explorations. Even today, when visiting the silent ruin of Montségur, it is impossible not to feel the weight of the unseen. The wind that cuts across the ancient stones seems to carry whispers, as though echoes of promises and secrets still drift about those half-ruined walls. It is as if the place itself repels anyone who approaches with greedy intentions, preserving a mystery that prefers to remain hidden. Thus, the Cathar treasure remains a living reminder of a time when faith, power, and knowledge walked side by side, often in silent warfare. Every piece of information uncovered, be it an inscription on stone, a letter concealed in a monastery, or a forgotten painting, is treated as a sacred fragment of a millennia-old puzzle. As the centuries progressed, other stories became entwined with the mystery of the lost treasure, heightening the fascination it exerted over adventurers and scholars. In the 17th century, the village of Rennes-le-Château, not far from Montségur, rose to prominence thanks to rumors of inexplicable discoveries made by a humble parish priest, Béranger Saunière, amid renovations to the church and works. On the parish grounds, Saunière is said to have found ancient documents and symbols that led him to unimaginable wealth. Yet the origin of this treasure has always remained shrouded in secrecy. Some believe he uncovered part of the mythical Cathar hoard, hidden by generations of silent guardians. Local legends tell of underground chambers sealed by ancient enchantments, and of maps whose markings could be read only under certain conditions, by the light of the full moon, perhaps, or with the aid of special herbs that would reveal the invisible. The story grows more tangled with the appearance of secret orders, such as the Templars, frequently linked to the Cathar's fate. For some scholars, the relationship between the two orders was not merely political, but also spiritual, founded upon knowledge that challenged the dogmas of the time. The Templars, masters at concealing secrets, may have helped hide the treasure, or even absorbed part of it into their own mysteries. Thus, clues have turned up in places as far-flung as Portugal, Scotland, and the Holy Land, each with its own version of the enigma. Vanished sacred objects, hidden chambers in ancient churches, and maps encoded in stained glass and stone carvings. Every discovery seemed only to deepen the abyss of mystery rather than illuminate it. In many of these accounts, the search for the treasure merges with the search for oneself. Numerous explorers have reported mystical experiences while following the Cathar's old paths, stories of supernatural visions, prophetic dreams, and inexplicable shifts in consciousness. For many, the physical journey through mountains and ruins became an inner journey as well. Each step across moss-covered rocks, a descent into the depths of the soul. The Pyrenees, with their dense forests and forbidding cliffs, are not merely geography, they are living characters in this epic, silent guardians of something that transcends the material. Many who tried to find the treasure returned empty-handed, yet with different eyes, as though they had realized that the true prize might not be gold or artifacts, but a forgotten shard of ancient wisdom. The few tangible clues that exist point to a network of interconnected sacred sites, laid out like a constellation upon the land. Ruined castles, hidden hermitages, shadowy grottos. Each spot appears to form part of a grand mosaic of hidden meaning. To discern the pattern of this network would, according to some, be the key to revealing the treasure's exact location. Even today, researchers and mystery hunters draw lines across old maps, seeking geometric and symbolic connections that elude ordinary eyes. And with every new theory, the legend is reborn, fueled by an eternal promise that somewhere between the visible and the invisible lies a treasure capable of changing forever the destiny of whoever finds it. Even in modern times, the search for the lost treasure of Montségur and the Cathars has not ceased. Advanced excavation equipment, drones, geophysical sensors, none has yet proved sufficient to pierce the veil of mystery protecting the secret. The terrain itself, with its landslides, unstable caves, and forgotten tracks, seems to act as a relentless guardian, thwarting the efforts of those who arrive with machines and purely material intentions. Nevertheless, in isolated villages, whispered stories persist around campfires. Old shepherds speak of lights that dance on the hills on moonless nights, and of voices that echo among the stones. Some claim to have found small objects, coins, medallions, fragments of parchment, that vanished mysteriously from their hiding places before they could be examined. Others tell of encounters with strange hooded figures who emerge from the shadows to warn the curious. There are treasures that do not belong to this world. The mysticism surrounding this quest transcends time. During the Second World War, the Nazi regime itself, obsessed with mystical artifacts and hidden power, sent emissaries to the Pyrenean region. Agents of the Ahnenerbe, an organization linked to the SS, scoured caves and ruins for relics that might guarantee spiritual and material supremacy. Despite their efforts, no official record indicates that they found anything. Yet local legends tell another story, that something was discovered, something so powerful that it had to be concealed again, this time beneath even deeper layers of secrecy. What makes this mystery even more enthralling is its ability to resist logic and time. In an era of technology, where satellites map the planet and databases store human knowledge, there still exists a medieval enigma that no algorithm has been able to solve. Every attempt at decipherment seems to run up against more questions, against symbols that dissolve when touched, like mirages in a desert of stone and silence. The few ancient maps that have survived, covered in nearly indecipherable inscriptions, indicate labyrinthine routes with references to specific stars, esoteric dates, and Kabbalistic numbers. Comprehending these clues requires not only expertise in history and symbolism, but also an almost religious willingness to plunge into the unknown. This is no simple hunt for gold, but a pilgrimage towards the occult. The notion of the treasure as a metaphor gains even more force when we observe how it has shaped the region's cultural identity. Festivals, legends, songs, all bear traces of this invisible heritage. The search for the Cathar treasure is, in a sense, the search for the memory of a people who dared to dream differently and paid for that audacity with blood. A people who believed in the purity of the soul, in liberating knowledge, and in a direct, unmediated bond with the divine. And it is within this intertwining of history, myth, and hope that the real fascination lies. Perhaps the treasure truly is buried somewhere beneath the silent mountains. Perhaps it is coded in the shattered stained glass of a forgotten church, or disguised in the melody of an ancient song. Or perhaps the greatest treasure is the journey itself, the eternal human impulse to seek, to question, and to believe in the unseen. With each generation, new seekers arise, driven by the same ancient calling. And as long as there are those who venture along the hidden tracks of the Pyrenees, as long as there are eyes alert and hearts willing to listen to the stone's whispers, the mystery will remain alive, like an eternal flame, fed by the desire to discover something greater than ourselves. Traveling the winding paths of history, myth, and faith, we realize that the true value of the lost medieval treasure surpasses gold and jewels. It represents an era in which knowledge was persecuted, in which ideas were more dangerous than swords, and in which the silent resistance of a people such as the Cathars left an indelible mark upon the fabric of time. The mystery of the treasure, hidden beneath Montségur and the valleys of the Pyrenees, continues to resonate because it touches something deep within our nature, the desire to uncover what has been forgotten, to find meaning in the silence of stones, to recover an ancient wisdom that might, perhaps, change the way we see life and the world. Each theory, each quest, Each new map found is not merely an attempt to grow rich, but a bid to touch a fragment of something sacred and lost. And if that treasure can never be found in physical form, perhaps, as many ancient traditions suggest, it is reserved only for those who can read between the lines of time and hear the voice of the invisible. The mystery remains intact, like an invitation. The next piece of the puzzle may be waiting for someone who, with courage and reverence, can decipher what so many have tried and failed to unveil. Could that someone be you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Is the lost treasure real? Or is it merely a powerful metaphor left as a legacy? Do you believe it will ever be found? Let us together keep alive this ancient flame that crosses the centuries and still today drives us to seek the invisible amid the shadows of the past.